The grand ballroom glowed like a fairy tale come to life, fairy lights twinkling against ivory drapes, the air thick with the scent of fresh roses and vanilla cake. Soft laughter echoed as guests twirled on the dance floor, toasting to the bride and groom under a canopy of crystal chandeliers. This was the wedding I'd poured my soul into. The one that had redefined luxury events in our city. My creation, born from sleepless nights sketching mood boards, negotiating with elusive vendors, and turning impossible visions into reality. For 4 years, I'd been the heartbeat of elite elegance weddings, transforming our small firm into the go-to for high society nuptials. Tonight was meant to be my coronation, the announcement of my promotion to creative director. I could feel it in the electric buzz of the room, in the knowing smiles from colleagues who'd seen me hustle. But as I stood off to the side, adjusting the delicate lace on my midnight blue gown, a knot twisted in my gut, one I couldn't quite shake. Hey everyone, welcome back to the channel where we dive into the most gripping revenge stories from real life, inspired by those viral Reddit threads that keep you up at night. If you're new here, hit that subscribe button and turn on notifications so you don't miss out on these tales of sweet, satisfying justice. Today, we've got a story that'll have you rooting for the underdog from the first betrayal to the epic comeback. Let's jump in. I remember the exact moment the world tilted. My name is Elena, and for as long as I can recall, weddings weren't just events to me. They were symphonies of emotion, carefully orchestrated to capture love in its purest form. I started at elite elegance right out of college, wide-eyed and eager, armed with a degree in event design and a portfolio of DIY weddings I'd planned for friends. Back then, the company was struggling. A mom-and-pop operation run by Victor Langford, a silver-haired tycoon with a reputation for charm that masked his cutthroat ambition. He hired me on a whim, seeing potential in my fresh ideas, but from day one, he treated me like an expendable cog. "Prove your worth, kid," he'd say with that condescending smirk, his eyes always scanning the room for someone more glamorous to impress. At first, I thrived on the challenge. I dove in headfirst, revamping our outdated packages with innovative twists, themed photo booths that told the couple's story, eco-friendly floral arrangements sourced from local farms, and interactive guest experiences like custom cocktail bars where attendees mixed drinks based on the bride and groom's favorite memories. My concepts didn't just save the company. They propelled it. Within a year, our bookings doubled. Celebrities started calling. A B-list actor's intimate beach vow renewal, a tech mogul's extravagant garden soiree. I was the one behind the curtain, pulling strings, soothing bridezillas at 2 a.m., and turning crises into magic. Victor praised me in private, dangling carrots like, "You're indispensable, Elena," during late-night strategy sessions, but publicly? Crickets. He'd take the bows at industry galas. His chest puffed like a peacock, while I lingered in the shadows, clipboard in hand. The toll was invisible at first, a slow erosion of my spirit. Mornings blurred into evenings. I'd wake with my heart racing, replaying vendor negotiations in my head. Relationships frayed. Dates cancelled because the linens arrived wrong. Friendships neglected for just one more mood board. My apartment became a war room of swatches and contracts, the scent of coffee permanent in the air. I told myself it was temporary, that loyalty would pay off. Victor fed that illusion, hinting at promotions in hushed tones. "Stick with me, and you'll run this place someday." His words were like honey, sweet but sticky, trapping me in a cycle of hope and exhaustion. But deep down, a whisper grew. Was this devotion or delusion? As the years ticked by, Victor's arrogance swelled with our success. He began favoring flash over substance, schmoozing investors with empty promises while skimping on staff support. He'd bark orders without listening, dismissing my suggestions in meetings with a wave of his manicured hand. "That's cute, Elena, but let's keep it simple." His entitlement seeped into everything. Late payments to vendors I had to apologize for, credit hogged for my innovations. I swallowed the bitterness, channeling it into better work, but the resentment simmered, a low hum in my chest. Colleagues noticed. Whispers in the break room about how Elena's carrying the load became common. Yet no one challenged him. Victor had a way of making you feel small. His piercing gaze reducing you to an intern, no matter your contributions. Then came Lila, Victor's niece, fresh-faced, 24, with a social media following and zero experience beyond planning her sorority's formals. She waltzed in 6 weeks ago, all designer bags and bubbly laughs, hired as my assistant. From the start, she was Victor's golden girl. He'd parade her around, boasting about her fresh energy, while ignoring my 4 years of grind. Lila was sweet enough on the surface, but entitled underneath. She'd scroll Instagram during briefings, then parrot my ideas as her own in emails. "Uncle Vic loves my vibe," she'd say with a wink, her perfectly glossed lips curling. I tried mentoring her, sharing tips on vendor management, but she'd nod absently, her eyes glazing over. Victor ate it up, praising her instincts in staff meetings. His voice booming while I sat there, fists clenched under the table, feeling the heat rise in my cheeks. The disrespect escalated subtly, like a frog in warming water. Victor started assigning Lila key clients, ones I'd nurtured for years. "She needs the experience," he'd say dismissively, his tone implying I was overstepping. One afternoon in a packed conference room, he critiqued my latest proposal, a sustainable woodland wedding theme I'd spent weeks perfecting. "Too niche, Elena. Lila, what do you think?" She flipped her hair, suggesting a generic ballroom setup. "Brilliant," Victor declared, his eyes lighting up as if she'd invented romance itself. My stomach churned. I felt the room's eyes on me, pitying. Inside, a storm brewed, my pulse thundering, palms slick with sweat. But I smiled, nodding politely, while my mind screamed, "How dare he?" That night, alone in my car, tears stung my eyes, hot and furious. Was this what loyalty bought? Erasure. The breaking point loomed at our annual showcase gala, the event where we unveiled our signature weddings and announced internal promotions. This year it was my magnum opus, an enchanted forest theme, complete with glowing lanterns, live string quartet, and a dessert bar featuring edible flowers. I'd orchestrated every detail, from the invitations embossed with gold leaf to the custom scent diffusers wafting jasmine and sandalwood. Rumors swirled that the creative director role was mine. Victor had even pulled me aside last week, clapping my shoulder with false warmth. "You've earned this, kid. Big things ahead." I believed him, foolishly, my heart swelling with anticipation. As the gala unfolded, I mingled in my gown, the fabric whispering against my skin, but anxiety gnawed, a tightness in my chest, breaths shallow and quick. Victor took the stage, spotlight bathing him in golden light, his tuxedo impeccable. He tapped his microphone, the room hushing, glasses clinking to a stop. "Tonight we celebrate not just love but vision," he boomed, his voice rich with practiced charisma. "Our success stems from bold leadership and innovative sparks." My breath hitched. Those were the words from my performance review. Eyes turned to me. Colleagues smiling, a few thumbs up. "I'm proud to name our new creative director." Time slowed, my heartbeat a drum in my ears. "Lila Langford." The applause erupted like thunder, but I was underwater, sounds muffled, vision blurring. Lila bounced up, her sequin dress sparkling, cheeks flushed as she hugged Victor. She was beaming, oblivious, while my world cracked. 4 years poof. Replaced by nepotism wrapped in youthful energy. The humiliation burned, a fire in my veins. Whispers rippled. Elena's project, though. But Victor ignored them, presenting Lila with the engraved platinum keychain, symbol of leadership. Then his eyes found me, casual, almost mocking. "And Elena, for your assistance." He pulled a crumpled envelope from his pocket, a $25 spa voucher. "A little treat," he said with a chuckle, the crowd tittering awkwardly. My fingers trembled as I took it, nails digging into my palm to steady myself. Inside, rage and sorrow collided. Hot tears pricking, but I refused to let them fall. Body rigid, smile plastered, I murmured, "Thank you, Victor. So generous." Lila shifted uncomfortably, her eyes darting, sensing the undercurrent. The room's energy shifted. Some averted gazes, others smirked. But I stood tall, chin lifted, because in that moment, clarity pierced the fog. They didn't deserve me. As applause faded, I slipped a folded letter from my clutch and handed it to Victor. "For you," I said softly, my voice steady despite the storm within. He ripped it open, his confident grin faltering. Color drained from his face, then surged back in angry blotches. "Elena, this is a joke," he hissed, voice low but trembling. The music stuttered, heads turned. "No joke," I replied calmly, meeting his glare. It was my resignation, effective immediately. The ballroom froze, a collective intake of breath. Victor's nostrils flared, fists clenching the paper. "You can't do this now," he whispered furiously, but I saw the crack fear in his eyes. Underestimated, indeed. As I turned away, a single clap echoed, hesitant, then joined by others. Not for him but for me. The sound swelled, a quiet rebellion, making his ears burn red. Inside, triumph flickered, warm and earned. Victor grabbed my arm lightly, steering me to a side alcove, away from prying eyes. The mask shattered there. His polished facade crumbled into raw fury. "What the hell, Elena? After all we've given you." His breath was hot, spittle-flecking. I pulled back, composure intact. "Given. Victor, I built this. Unpaid overtime, client miracles. That's me." He paced, hands raking his hair. "Lila brings relatability, freshness. You're solid but dated." The word stung like a slap, but I absorbed it, letting it fuel the calm. "Then you don't need me," I said evenly. His eyes narrowed, body tensing. "You're replaceable. Everyone is." I leaned in slightly, voice a whisper. "Some replacements expose the rot." Uncertainty flashed. His Adam's apple bobbing. "You'll regret this. No one hires quitters." I smiled faintly. "Watch me." Lila peeked in, fidgeting with her keychain. "Uncle Vic, the guests." He waved her off, brittle. She glanced at me, guilt shadowing her features. "Elena, I didn't ask for this." Her voice wavered, hands twisting. She wasn't evil, just privileged, blind. "I know," I replied softly. Relief washed over her, but the damage lingered. As they returned to the party, I lingered, the alcove's dim light casting long shadows. My heart raced, not with fear but exhilaration. The air felt lighter, charged. Grabbing my wrap, I exited through the back, cool night breeze kissing my skin. Colleagues nodded in silent solidarity. One, my assistant Marco, whispered, "Go get him." Freedom tasted sweet like the first sip of champagne after drought. But this was no end. It was ignition. The next morning dawned quiet, sunlight filtering through my blinds, no frantic emails pinging. I savored coffee on my balcony, the steam curling lazily, birdsong replacing office chaos. Peace fragile but real. Then my phone erupted, buzz after buzz. "Victor, call me. This is unprofessional. We need your vendor lists." The panic. 4 years I'd been the keeper of secrets. Exclusive contacts with florists, photographers, venues. Relationships I'd cultivated personally. No one else knew the nuances, the favors owed. They'd relied on my memory, my networks, assuming I'd always be there. Now absence revealed the voids. I ignored them, dressing for a meeting I'd scheduled weeks ago, in secret. At a cozy downtown bistro, the aroma of fresh bread and espresso enveloped me. Seated in the corner was Sophia Reyes, a former partner at Elite who'd left a year prior after Victor's creative differences, code for his ego clashing with her integrity. Sharp-eyed, poised in a tailored blazer, she rose as I approached. "Elena, you look liberated." We hugged, her warmth genuine. Over lattes she leaned in. "Heard about the gala. Bold move." I nodded, pulse steady. "Necessary." Sophia smiled knowingly. "Victor's spiraling." Can't access your client database. It's encrypted, right? My lips twitched. He delayed the handover, wanted it post-promotion. Irony hung heavy. She clasped her hands. I didn't call you for tea. Since leaving, I've been building Rhea's events. Ethical, innovative, client-first. My breath caught. Her vision mirrored mine. I've watched you, Elena. Your talent's wasted there. Join me. As partner, not subordinate. The words landed like sunlight breaking clouds. Partner. Cool. In. The bistro faded. My mind raced with possibilities. Our combined networks, fresh ideas untainted by nepotism. I need to think, I said, voice thick. Of course, she replied. But know this, you're not just skilled. You're irreplaceable. Walking out, the city buzzed anew. Vibrant, full of promise. My phone vibrated. Victor again. Come back. Negotiable. I silenced it. Not yet. By midweek, chaos reigned at Elite. Messages flooded from ex-colleagues. Where's the backup for the Vanderbilt wedding? Lila's lost on timelines. Clients asking for you specifically. The irony twisted like a knife. Weeks ago, I'd pleaded for cross-training for backups. Victor dismissed it. You've got it covered. Now uncovered, they floundered. Guilt tugged, for the team, not him. Marco texted. It's a mess. Help. I hesitated, fingers hovering, but resolve hardened. Enabling them perpetuated the cycle. Instead, I reviewed Sophia's proposal. Projections solid, ethos aligned. Excitement bubbled, a future on my terms. Then a knock at my door. Marco looking harried, tie askew. Elena, sorry to barge in. I invited him in, brewing tea. He paced, leg jittering. It's imploding. Investors pulling out. A botched event last night. Wrong flowers, delayed setup. He exhaled. Lila's overwhelmed. Victor's blaming everyone. My chest tightened. He said you'd come back. I arched a brow. Emotional outburst, he calls it. The label ignited quiet fury. Diminishing my strategy to whimsy. Marco slid an envelope across. His offer. I scanned. Bump in title, salary. Concessions born of desperation. Too late, I said. Marco's eyes softened. You're inspiring us. A few are talking about leaving. Possibility sparked. You deserve better too, I told him. He nodded, hope dawning. As he left, he paused. If you and Sophia need staff. Smiled. Ripples forming. Strategic threads wove tighter. I met Sophia again, accepting partnership. We brainstormed discreetly. Leveraging my contacts ethically. No poaching, just open doors. Word spread organically. Clients I'd wowed reached out, disillusioned with Elite's slip-ups. Heard you're independent now, one said. Let's talk. Twists emerged. A leaked email from Victor ranting about my betrayal. Backfired, painting him unprofessional. Lila confided via text. I'm outmatched. Sorry. I replied kindly. Learn from it. No grudges, growth over grudge. Friday, I returned to Elite one last time, uninvited, for closure. The lobby hummed tensely. Staff eyed me warily. Victor's office door ajar. He looked diminished, bags under eyes, desk cluttered. Elena, he rasped, standing. He thrust papers. Lavish offer. Come home. I stayed upright. This isn't home. His plea cracked. You built us. And you dismantled that, I countered. Defeat shadowed him. Mistake. Clarity. Turning, applause started, soft, affirming. By elevator close, it swelled, a chorus of respect. Months later, Rhea's events launched humbly. Cozy office, passion-fueled. Clients flocked. Our first wedding a hit, reviews glowing. Lila joined as junior, eager to learn. Elite faltered. Lost contracts, Victor ousted by board. Rachel, wait, Marco texted. He's gone. Your void too big. Closure washed over, karmic and clean. In the end, revenge wasn't destruction. It was reclamation. Walking away taught me. Undervaluation is a signal to rise elsewhere. True power blooms from self-respect, not retribution. If this story hit home, like and comment your biggest betrayal below. Did you get revenge? Subscribe for more, and I'll see you in the next one. Stay empowered out there.